actually, and he did a good job when he was by himself. But running by yourself on the racetrack is one thing, and you get to race weekend when you got thousands of people around and 20 or 30 other cars to deal with. It's a whole different situation.
Currently 25th on the grid, Bill Kruger, currently 25th. So a courageous comeback, and Alan, not the place really to go motor racing hard on a comeback here with so many walls around.
No, but I guess if you're going to do the full season, this is the first race, you haven't got much of a choice. But he's way off the pace at the moment. I mean, he's not just slightly off the pace, he's way off the pace.
Well, the only good news about that is he's realized his limitations, and he's not trying to overextend himself. And I think that's good. That at least he realizes where the limits are for him. And just like in that situation, he got out of the other car's way. He didn't want to slow anybody up, and that's a good opportunity for him.
Well, I mean, if he can't improve his time, he could be excluded from the field. You were saying to us yesterday that that's up to the marshal to make that announcement that they'll run the extra car. Yeah,
and I don't think it'll come down to a factor of how fast he is. I think it'll be whether they think he is mentally stable enough to take the pressure that exists under a race situation. So even if he's not in that 115% bracket, I don't think the speed alone will be the biggest factor.
Dean Hall we're looking at now. Tell us about Dean Hall in car 21.
Well, Dean's a young driver that's only been with us now a year or two on the IndyCar circuit. Had a lot of success in the lower formulas. Hasn't had the equipment that it really takes to show his ability. And I think he's got quite a bit of driving talent. But again, the equipment that he's been able to get himself into hasn't been top-notch. And you know, like we like to say, Superman died a long time ago. If you don't have the right tennis shoe on, if you don't have that right race car, it's really hard to make up the difference.
Well, running currently 22nd on the grid. His time.
Certainly a clash in colour schemes between that helmet and the car, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a lollipop or something sitting on top of his head.
Just 1 minute remaining of this first of the qualifying, or it's the final qualifying session for Group 1. 1 minute remaining, so not much time now for a good time to come out of that. And Bettenhausen is obviously the fastest man of this group. He's improved by over 2 seconds. Brayton's car.
This has been a tough session for these guys because it's been broken up 2 or 3 times with red flag situations. And like we talk about the rhythm that's so important, Alan, a lot of these guys just start to get into the rhythm, and then they have a problem on the race surface.
Brayton's on a hot one here. There's no doubt about this. This car's really twitching up here. He's on a good lap now. He may just squeeze one in.
Well, in theory, he should be the quickest guy on the circuit, because I would say he's probably got the best package. Would you tell me?
No question. That's a brand new 1991 Lola with a Chevrolet motor, and they were excited about their potential for this season. First time in this new equipment with that Chevrolet motor, so it's got the potential to be right there.
He's heading for the checkered flag now, but he's still looking at a time 11th, a 1:43.700 is Bettenhausen, so he's bumped himself up into 11th. That's good driving from Tony Bettenhausen.
That was a good job, and it'll be interesting to see what Scotty gets accomplished here in the last couple of minutes of this qualifying session.
Scotty Brayton's last chance to maybe go a little harder than Tony Bettenhausen to take the honour of this group. The flag is out, so that session is over. We'll wait for time, because this could be an interesting lap. He was going pretty hard.
Well, one thing about kart that I do like is that guy has got exactly the same equipment as the guy who is currently quickest overall.
Yeah, I think that's a big advantage in our series. Even though that equipment isn't available to everybody, not everybody can have that Chevrolet motor, and it's really what you need at this point. But it's a lot better than Formula One, because Formula One, you've got 1 or 2 drivers only that are exposed to that equipment.
Let's recap now on this final qualifying session for the Group 1 cars. Bettenhausen with a 1:43.700. Brayton didn't improve on that time in the last lap. In fact, the top guns of this Indy car field. We've got the fast men out. It's their last chance to qualify or to get a really, really good time up here. Now, Tommy Sneaver, this is the time we're really going to see the boys hard at work.
Well, no question about that, Des. Everybody is going to be given a 10/10 at this time.
Eddie Cheever is now out in the circuit. He's been the fastest man by far in almost every session. He really has come out and dominated practice so far. And Eddie Cheever, of course, out of the Formula One ranks, gone to IndyCar racing and has really been a sensation this weekend. Tom Sneaver, I mean, each day he goes out, he's done the job. He's got to just maintain that position today, but try and get the clear lap in maybe early or late in the session.
Well, it looks like he's going right after it to me, Des. And, I think Eddie's been a great representative for Formula One. He's really a pleasure to be around, but he's able to drive the car on the proverbial ragged edge the entire time, and he's about done that the whole time here at Surfers Paradise.
Alan, Eddie Cheever, of course, having so much experience in Grand Prix racing on circuits like this, I mean, it must give him some advantage.
Yeah, but of course, a lot of kart racing now is on road circuits and street circuits. About 70% of their racing is on street circuits. But I guess Eddie's been doing it longer because...
That's what I meant.
Yeah, he's been doing it at Monaco and Detroit and all those sort of circuits now for about 10 or 12 years. In fact, when Patrick Tombe had his accident in 1986, Eddie came over and was my teammate for the Haas team at Detroit, and he went extremely well in that car. He'd never sat in it before, and he qualified really well.
Eddie Cheever, behind him is Emerson Fittipaldi. Now, Emerson Fittipaldi has been going along very quietly over the weekend, just building up his times, getting the car right. But this is his last chance too. So, Tom, I mean, would it be wise for him already to latch onto the back of Eddie, which he's doing now, to try and get the tow around on the fast line, then maybe back off a little, let the tyres settle down and have another go?
Well, the straightaways here, Des, are long enough that you can actually get a little bit of a tow. And you saw Eddie fling it through that chicane area. He wasn't too gentle with that car, so he's right on after it. But Emerson is just giving a little bit of an indication. You see him throw it sideways getting off the corner. So these guys are all using everything they've got at this point.
It's a very important practice session this time, because on a street circuit which is as narrow as this, any groundwork that you can, or any time that you can pick up, any placing, in other words, if you can qualify third place, say from sixth place, that effectively is 3 cars less you have to pass when the race starts. And on a circuit like that, that could mean virtually the whole race.
Well, no question about it. This is going to be a very difficult track to pass on. So the farther you start towards the front, the better your chances are going to be to have a successful day and avoid trouble. And that might be the key to this race, is staying out of trouble.
So at the moment, Emerson Fittipaldi sitting right in behind Eddie Cheever, the man that's been the fastest man around this Gold Coast circuit, a brand new circuit. It was a green circuit, of course, on Friday, but the rubber is being laid as practice sessions, qualifying sessions have been going on for the NASCARs and the Oscars. Fittipaldi now starting to work the car, and he's staying with Cheever looking for the fast time.
Well, that's the key right there, Des. He's actually closed the gap a little bit on Eddie. So Emo at this point is running maybe just a little bit quicker than our provisional pole sitter, Eddie Cheever.
He's actually looking to pick up a fairly good tow up there as well. I mean, if you can come out of that left-hand or onto that back straight in the right position, you can perhaps pull 100 or 200 more revs than what you would by yourself, which makes your overall lap time that much better.
Looking at Emerson Fittipaldi chasing Eddie Cheever. Let's have a look at the man away from the office, 44 years of age. Debuted back in 1984, 102 races so far. In 1990, his season, he was 5th. 12 wins so far, kart champion 1989, his earnings are there for you. Driving car 5, the Penske car, a beautiful package. Emerson Fittipaldi, 2-time Formula One world champion, and now doing so well in this series, the IndyCar Championships. And in car 5 in the distinctive red and white colours, and it's a lovely turned out package this one, Tom. It's a very professional team.
Well, the Penske team has been one of the dominant teams in IndyCar racing for many, many years now. And again, it looks this year that they've hit upon a chassis combination that will make them very competitive.
Tom, these cars are made in Bristol in England, and I believe then they're shipped over to America for final tuning.
Al Unser Jr. now, you're riding with Al Unser Jr. around this Gold Coast circuit. You can see the height of the walls and the catch fences, and it's like this big, long tunnel they're through, and Al Unser's head just swinging around from side to side as he gets buffeted going down the back straight. That's along the beachfront here on the Gold Coast, and I guess you've been here on holidays many times. It hasn't quite looked like this before. And Al Unser Jr. now coming onto the Gold Coast Highway, a very long, long straight. There'll be 2 chicanes that Tom Sneaver will take you through with Al Unser Jr. Then another piece of this straight into a hard left and then back up onto the beachfront proper. But Tommy, oh, and there's a lose now. Car spinning around.
Scotty
car
Goodyear
15.
there. Scotty Goodyear in the McKenzie car.
So that's been the drama point, hasn't it, so far? There's the chicanes. Talk us through these.
Well, the chicane at the end of the front straightaway is very difficult because you're at 180 miles an hour as you enter the chicane. It's a quick left-right switchback, and it's very critical on how smooth you can get back on the power as you come out of those chicanes.
Heading back on this little short drift, about 250 metres back left, and Al now gets back on the beachfront proper, heading up towards Main Beach and narrow.